Clayton said right before the play, you said, "Throw me the ball. This is why I'm here." Is that like all you said? And what was kind of the feeling at that point when you're just having a monster game?
Yeah, I think I was just in the zone. Big time playing the game, big time situation. And I just wanted to let Clay know I was there. I just wanted to let him know, throw me the ball. We have that trust. And he was able to trust me, and he did throw me the ball. So that was just, it worked out, and it was a big time play. So I'm just really happy that he threw me the ball, and really happy that happened.
More of a big picture question, but you as a guy who's from the area, brothers have played here, been involved, man. Why have you been able to have this really good career, and what does today mean for it?
I think it means a lot. I think that's the most fun football game I've ever been a part of. Come from behind, win. Just trusting all the guys around me. I think that's what it comes down to. Trusting Clayton, like we just talked about, we have that trust, and then trusting the guys up front to do their job and give us some time to work, and trusting the other receivers to do their job. We got so many playmakers. I've talked about that over and over in our room and on our offense. So I think just trust the biggest thing, and then just doing my job and trusting Clayton.
What are some things you learned from your brothers and their experiences in football?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is probably adversity. I think a couple of my brothers dealt with injury, and they didn't always respond to it the best way they could. And then my freshman year, I got hurt, ended up getting surgery, and that was a big point for me. I could have, kind of dealt with it the way they did. But I think I learned from them, and I wanted to bounce back and play this game for a long time. So I think that was definitely the biggest thing. They talked to me about it, and I've talked to my brothers numerous times about, things they wish they did differently in college. And I think I've learned from them and try to do it a little bit differently.
Good. You just mentioned you were in the zone.
Mm-hmm.
Can you describe what it feels like in the zone?
It's kind of hard to describe. I think that was a feeling I don't think I've ever had playing football. I just felt it just felt different. I felt the love for everybody beside me. And not that I don't feel that every game, but it was just on a different level this game. And just the trust with Clayton. It was just, I was ecstatic out there, and it's kind of a feeling I can't really describe.
I've seen quarterbacks and receivers talk about that, and they feel like it's almost predestined that the ball is going to come to you and you're going to catch it.
Mm-hmm.
That type of thing? Is that true?
I think on some of the plays, a couple of the plays are by design, tagged for certain receivers. So on some of the plays before the play, that I may know it's coming to me. So that trust is huge. We had a big play in the game on Clayton's interception. I got kind of stuck in the ground, and I didn't get out of my break, and that was a huge play in the game. And I could have just hung my head, and that was on me. That was my fault. I got one hand on it because I didn't get out of my break. I got stuck, but that was on me. And Clayton still came back and trusted me. That was huge. I think responding to adversity, like I talked about, and then that trust that I have with Clayton to still come back to me after that is just huge.
Can you describe the importance of that trust? Because there are a couple times it seemed as if he knew where you were going to be, even though it was a broken pattern and he's been flushed.
Yeah, I've been playing with him for 4 years, so I think he does know where I'm going to be. He knows my skill set. He knows where I'm going to be in the concept, like we talked about. So I think when you play with somebody for 4 years, it's your trust is just built up over those 4 years.
From same region as your head coach, was going back to when you were being recruited, was that something that kind of appealed to you? You knew that you could have someone who knows your background and can easily relate to it? Absolutely.
Staying close to home was huge for me. Like I was committed to Duke, and that was quite a trip. And I think staying close to home was the deciding factor, and this coaching staff already being comfortable with them because 2 of my brothers played here. So I think staying close to home and just playing for these coaches was the biggest thing.
Clayton was talking about a moment when you guys were down double digits in the second half where he looked at you, some of the other guys saw kind of a light in your eyes, and you were just saying, we're going to win this game.
Yeah.
Can you describe just what that was kind of like, you guys trying to like push back and what that was like on the sideline?
Yeah, it comes down to adversity like we talked about. I think everybody around us, whether we were down or not in the game, you couldn't tell. Guys were pumped up, and we knew as an offense we had to take over. The defense was playing their game, and we had to step up. We had to make some big plays. And me and Clayton looked at each other and looked at the other guys, and we said we got to win this game as an offense. And so I think we stepped up and we made those plays and responded to adversity really well.
What will you remember most about today?
I think just the amount of fun that I've had in this game and this season, and the amount of fun we're going to have going forward. These are moments that you're going to remember the rest of your life. Me and Clay after the game, we hugged it out, and we both told each other we loved each other. But I think that's a moment that I'm never going to forget the rest of my life.
What does it feel like? It's it still hasn't really hit me yet. Just kind of going through the flow of things, just seeing how it rolls. It said you on that first field goal attempt, you were probably a little anxious. A little bit. That would have been, of course, the later ones. Yeah, so I was just a little bit excited to go out there for the first one, but as I was growing up, we had a saying, "Fix it and forget it." So I realized what I did, and then just moved on and fixed it for the next one. So. What was it like when you were taking the field for the potential game winner? Everything felt pretty calm. I was with my holder and my snapper. Jay Collins and Tyler Gillikin, they were talking to me, just, keeping me calm because they've been through this before. So, I have some seasoned vets with me. What were they saying? Oh, they were just saying, just deep breath. It's nothing different than what we practiced before, do this every week. So. And then did you know as soon as you struck it, it was good? Yeah, I felt it was good, yeah.
Did you ever get a game winner before?
No, I've kicked in high school one where it counted for the game then, but it wasn't at the end like that, so.
It helped to get a swing before the timeout on that last one. Did that help you out at all?
Yeah, I think so. It kind of, made me feel more confident in the kick itself. So just got the flow of things going. So.
Did you get any high-intensity situations in practice this week that could, in some way, try and mimic the atmosphere that you kicked in at the end of the game today?
Yeah, every week we usually have some type of NASCAR situation or something where we practice going in there, rush, going down to the kick that'll win the game, and we try to simulate it. It is different than what it'll actually be in the game, but it at least gets you into that mindset and gets you prepared for it.
What did Fitz say to you after the game?
Just way to trust it, way to keep working through it and everything like that. Just. Trusting everything that we've worked for,
What's the garage?
So it's a place on campus where entrepreneurs can go in with their ideas and work on it with these advisors that have all kinds of expertise in these different fields. So I've worked on 2 startups there now, and our most current one is called BarTap. So we've been working on that there recently.
What is BarTap?
So BarTap is looking to pretty much make the whole process of ordering in a bar simpler. So when you go in there, you'll be able to use the app to actually make your order and everything like that and pick it up from a certain spot at the bar.
Well, my girlfriend and my son are waiters. I'm sure too happy about that.
Well, a little bit busier of a place where, it's crowded, but yeah.
I'm not going to be ordering.
So is this garage kind of like an episode of Silicon Valley or something?
Pretty much, yeah. It's all kinds of different rooms. They have right brain and left brain. So right brain's, kind of like a more relaxed one where you can hang out in these comfy chairs, and the other one's all business and everything like that. So it's just a nice place to, have your startup be surrounded by all these experts that know what they're doing and, incubate it from there. So.
And then you said that your catchphrase was "fix it and forget it."
Yeah.
That's. The denture company, Fix It.
I didn't know that, actually, yeah.
Fix it and forget it.
Oh.
So.
Yeah. Just kind of grew up with it, yeah.
Was it family saying, high school saying?
Somewhat family, and then mostly coaching, too, yeah.
I assume you came to Northwestern for the
academics, not the football, or what all came into your decision?
So it was both. I wanted to come here to play football, and was recruited as a preferred walk-on. So then the academics, you couldn't turn that down. So, yeah.
And when did you know you'd be the guy this week?
I learned earlier in the week when they were talking to Charlie, just seeing how he was doing and everything. So I just got myself mentally prepared. Yeah.
Did you do anything different knowing you were picking this week?
No, just kind of prepare myself to be able to take on that role too, since I was already doing the kickoffs then.
And what was your feeling when it went to overtime, knowing that it could have come down to a game-winning kick?
Just same thing as with getting ready for this week, getting mentally prepared for it, just trying to put myself through that situation and make sure that I'm good to go.
Do you have any role models in the business or Silicon Valley, the tech world, anything like that?
I do like Linus Torvalds just because he's the inventor of Linux, and he took an idea where he wanted to create a operating system that was cheap and efficient. So I just kind of looked up to him because he was able to do something like that out of nothing, and I've always admired people that can build things like that.
Is that your favorite OS?
I'd say that I use it more than often. Yeah.
Sorry, what's the name of the person or the spelling?
Linus, Linus, and then Torvalds, Torvalds. Yeah.
What are your overall feelings after that game? Crazy game, and being able to get that stop on the drive in overtime.
Oh yeah, definitely. At a good place right now. Very happy. Good team win. But obviously, as a defense, a lot of things we still got to work on. So we're just gonna get back to work on Monday.
You guys have been so stout against the run all year. What was different today?
I'm actually not sure. I think they game plan really well for us. And, they know we've been doing well against the run. And, they hit us with a few different things, we hadn't seen before. But, there are definitely things that we can control and we can stop. And so, we're looking to fix that in these coming weeks.
You shut them down after the onside kick and then the overtime drive. What was different in those two scenarios from much of the rest of the game?
Can you repeat that, please?
The defense was different that last drive of regulation and overtime. Had the two stops compared to the rest of the game when they were able to move the ball. What was different there at the end?
I think we just realized, that the game was on the line, and for us to win this game, we had to do what we can and stop the offense. So, I definitely think there was a heightened sense of emergency and realizing, the game is on us, and so we had to stop them.
When they had that tough snap on fourth down in overtime, what did you see and what goes through your mind when that unfolds like that?
Well, we were in a 3-deep defense, so I was in the post, and, regardless of what happens in the backfield, I got to stay in the post, and, I just stayed deep, and they had, I think, 3 run down on the side where I was, and, just read the QB and try to make a play.
You're calm now, but I assume you were fired up right after the game on the field. What was the scene like? Who were you talking to and all that?
It was crazy. I was, just dapping up and hugging all my brothers, all my teammates. Words weren't very comprehensible, but, it was a good time.
Words weren't very what?
Understandable.
Oh, okay, good. 20 years from now, when you come back for a reunion, what are you going to remember? What are some of the things you'll remember from this game?
Yeah, I'll remember, I think, going down by 10 and, looking around and seeing, talking to the guys, but seeing the life in their eyes, knowing that we can move the ball and we have. Seeing Flynn, though, telling the guys, we're going to win this game. There's nothing that's going to stop us. We're going to win this game. But that long drive was pretty special. Those O-linemen did a great job up there and had some key catches by some guys who maybe only had a couple catches a whole year. Some guys, it was their first time playing. I drop back, step up, and Chad's catching a 10-yard, dump right there. It was pretty cool. So I think just seeing the fight in the guys, how we came back and won, that was really cool.
That long drive, the 99-yard drive, how big was that? Not only just for the game, but for your psyche, the season.
Yeah. That was huge. I think if you go back and look at the past few years, our 2-minute offense is really good. And when we got the ball on our own half-yard line, really, we were just thinking we got to get the ball out, got to get a little breathing room, and then we just go into our normal stuff. And so, had a big penalty right there, but our receivers were getting open the whole day, and our O-line was doing a great job. I mean, we threw the ball 64 times. And we only had 2 sacks, and one of those sacks was I was trying to escape up the middle, so that one's on me. But, to drop back 64, 66, or 68 times, and only have 1 sack, really,
That's pretty impressive by those guys.
When the running game is not going well and the defense pretty much knows that you're going to be throwing the ball, what's that like for you? Is that what's that like for you?
It's pretty cool. Just a challenge. They know what we're going to do. We know what they're going to do, and who's better. And we show that we can do that the past few weeks.
You had one slide out there today where you got up, looked a little shaken up. Do you feel like you're at 100% these days?
Yeah, no, I feel good. He actually ended up sliding into me too, and he just put his cleat and he just scraped me up. So just a little bruise. It was nothing bad. It definitely hurt. It was more of like, oh, geez, that kind of hurt, but it was fine the next drive. I think we realized that was the issue in the first few weeks, and so just addressed that in practice and moved on. But the guys are playing real resilient right now, so that's really it.
Can you elaborate more on what Glenn said to the team before that, and then how he delivered on that with a bunch of big catches on those last two drives?
Yeah, he was just sitting there behind, especially the receivers right there and quarterbacks, and he was just like, we're going to win this game. We're going to win this game. You got to believe it. And he was playing out of his mind. And, on that last drive there when he ran kind of a little wheel route, he turned to me and said, throw me the ball. This is why I'm here. And I was like, okay. And so I dropped back and had my eyes downfield, but I knew I was going to him. And he got open, he got another holding call, but he played out of his mind, and that's what he's been doing the whole year.
Each of the past 2 weeks, you guys have had a lot of success with Tommy kind of pulling over. What makes that so effective for your offense?
Yeah, Tommy and Nick and those guys do a great job of allowing us to move the pocket. I think that's huge, especially when we throw it 64 times. We got to be able to move the pocket and not allow defenses to get a rush on us. And so Tommy's doing a great job of that, and so is Nick, picking up those guys and allowing me a little more space to work. And those plays are working real well.
64 passes for you would have been crazy to think about 3 years ago. What's it like knowing Fitz has that confidence?
3 years ago, I had a not a roommate, but a guy who lived down the hall from me, and Big Joe. But Joe lived down the hall from me a few years ago, so love him. But it's a lot of big confidence builder. But you're right, we couldn't have done that 3 years ago, and our strength was me running the ball and Justin running the ball. So that's what we did.
Only bring these up because Fitz mentioned them early on. He said you responded very well from the interceptions because you put those on yourself. What about those two throws?
Yeah. The first one, that safety made a nice play. I got to come off that probably or throw it a little bit earlier, and then the second one, I know Flynn slipped a little bit, and so that's tough, and he'll take that one on himself. But I probably got to put it down on him as well. So it was a combination of both of us.
But you clearly didn't let it fluster you.
No. I had two last week as well. Got to keep playing. So yeah.
2 fourth down conversions, 2 on the 99-yard drive. What did you see on those plays?
Yeah, they were dropping a lot of guys back, so you just got to find the zone to get open. And luckily, we had some good concepts to where if they took away one thing, we had another guy coming open, and it worked. And Ramad made a huge catch, and some other guys, and Ben with that big catch on that post. So those guys stepped up.
I think it is like in my entire career actually, but I didn't even know I was just so happy with the win. I just didn't whenever Kyle came and told me I didn't believe him. So I was just I thought it was around probably 6 or 7, because normally D linemen kind of get they kind of give the tackles to the linebackers if linebackers are anywhere around there. So I was happy with it, but I'm more happy with the win.
What was that moment right after Drew hit the field goal immediately afterwards?
Just relief, because I didn't watch it, but I couldn't really tell by the crowd reaction either. But I was just happy to get the win because we never gave up and we really fought. So it was really just a good one.
Knowing that you were down 10 late and coming back and winning like this, what does this do for this team going forward?
I think it could really just inspire us to keep working, because, a win like this, it shows that we have the guts to, even when we're down, no matter the situation, we can just keep fighting. and to actually end up with a win, it means a lot to the defense, the offense, everyone.
What'd you do right after the field goal went through? Who were you with? What'd y'all say?
I think it was just everyone else was like standing up, and I was sitting on the chairs by the bench, and it was just like me and Jordan. We just kind of high-fived. Just, it really wasn't anything crazy. I know people went and picked Drewski up, but we just kind of. I just walked over, and I think it was like 76 from Nebraska. I said good game to, just because he went to high school with Austin Hiller, who plays here. So I just said good game to him. Said good game to 22, and that was it. It really wasn't anything crazy.
You guys didn't pick up Drew?
I didn't pick up Drew. I think it was more the O-lineman picking up Drew. Yeah. Yeah, that's everyone calls him Drewski. Like it's. Yeah.
You guys forced 3 turnovers today. There's a big trend in college football today of turnover props, like turnover chain, turnover bag. Do you guys have any plans for anything like that, or have anything like that? And
I don't think so. I don't think the coaches really up for that, any turnover thing. But we do try. We emphasize turnovers because if you have the ball, you win, obviously. And yeah, I think we have some guys who would be for it, but I don't think the coaching staff really go for that overall.
The run defense was not as good today as it has been. What went wrong in that regard?
Don't really know as of right now, just because like we haven't really got to watch the film or anything. But yeah, the run defense wasn't at the best today, but obviously we just found a way to win. We just kept fighting, and just as long as you get him down before he gets in the end zone, that's all that matters.
I remember my question. So what was the key in the difference there? Those 2 drives you stopped them to force OT and then stopped them in OT.
I really couldn't tell you exactly. I just think that Coach Hank just put us in the right positions on, especially that drive where we had to stop him to force to get the ball back. I think that Coach Hank just made some great calls, put us in the right positions, and yeah, we were just able to get the win.